My name is Richard Klaus. I am student engagement staff here in the Philosophy and Religious Studies department. I want to start off with a little story. People love stories, a little parable, if you will, for a religion class. Father, mother, and an 8-year-old boy wanted to go on the trip of a lifetime. They wanted to save up and go on this cruise. So they saved up all their money to buy the tickets, and they're on the cruise, but they realized we spent all of our money to get the tickets. So they're thinking to themselves, we got to bring our own food. So they bring their peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and they're eating food in their rooms. The 8-year-old son, though, is seeing all these people get this great food out of the dining hall. And he takes a piece of chocolate cake. The father says, we got to pay for this. He goes to the attendant and says, I want to pay for my son's chocolate cake. The attendant says, you already did. When you purchased the ticket for this trip, you purchased everything on it. So you can have all that you want here. So he was amazed. I use that as a little parable because I think many times somebody, you, perhaps somebody else, bought your ticket for education here at Glendale Community College. And what I want to say is that you have a lot of resources you might not even know about. And part of what my job is to help link you with those resources. And so what I want to do today is just mention a few of those things, talk about my role just briefly, about how I can help you overcome any obstacle in your education. So what I'm going to give you just a few links online. We're going to point to and mention. I'm going to actually click on a few links together real quickly, and then we'll end with giving you a tool you can use in this class, hopefully. So what I want to do here is to just mention briefly, this is the main site, the GCCAZ.edu website. You're all familiar with this? It's interactive. You can raise your hand. Thank you. I'll be asking a number of questions. What I want you to think about is scroll down to the bottom of the page to where all this stuff is that we normally ignore. I simply want to mention two resources here. Number one, Disability Resources and Services. I walked into the Disability Resources and Services building, and they deal with things like we would expect, those with blindness or hearing impairment, but also things like PTSD, any sort of learning difficulty you might have. And we recognize that the college community is probably underserving those with those kinds of needs. And so if you think you might have maybe an educational challenge in this area, I'd encourage you to take 3 minutes of your life and just click on that link and see what kind of resources are available through the Disability Resources and Services building and that department. There's amazing stuff that's available both in technology and personnel that may be of help to you. So I just want to mention that as one thing. The second thing I want to mention is right underneath this, the Veteran Services. Are there any veterans in the class? Okay, we got one. Any sons or daughters of veterans in the class, right? Many times the veterans know about this. We know about the VA bill and the education monies that are provided through that. But if you're a son or a daughter of a veteran and you were injured or they were injured or experienced death in the military, there may be educational benefits that come to you or flow to you. So again, if you think that might fit you, might fit a friend of yours on this campus, again, take 3 minutes of your life, click on that link and find out what kind of resources are available to you that can help you in your educational journey. So those are just two things I wanted to mention that are available to us. The other link I want to mention when I actually click on is the library link. Most of us are familiar with the library. I won't ask you, do you know where it's at? Hopefully you do. But how many of you are familiar with Ask a Librarian? Anybody familiar with that? Oh, excellent. This is the best response in this class. How many of you have used Ask a Librarian? Was it helpful? Yeah. Was it helpful? Good. Ask a Librarian is basically a resource. You can talk to a librarian 24/7. So Saturday, 3 a.m. in the morning, you're working on your paper and you need to talk to a librarian. Hey, I have 4 resources for my bibliography. I need a 5th one. You can talk to a librarian, find out what kind of resources they might give you in that regard. So wherever you're at, you can call and contact a librarian. Again, just a resource that's available to you. I want to click down to the bottom of this page under Tutoring. What pops up is the main tutoring page for GCC. How many of you are familiar with the Center for Learning? Okay, excellent. Great. You can walk in there, get help on all sorts of things, mathematics, English. The only thing you need an appointment for is if you want to have help with a paper. And again, I tell students, do not bring in blank pages of paper. They will not write a paper for you. But if you have a paper you've written for a class, you want to have a tutor look at that and help you work through that in terms of maybe mechanics or grammar or the cohesion of the paper. They're very happy to do that, and it's an effective resource on campus. But what I want to give you today, though, just a little lower on this page, our online tutoring service. See, it's called Brainfuse. You can visit a tutor online. I'm going to have to take a few minutes here, or a few seconds hopefully, and input my stuff. Brainfuse has a couple different components to it I just want to make mention of. On this section of the page, the live help, GCC offers 5 hours of online tutoring for every student. So you can, again, access that resource any time of day. You can talk to a tutor on any subject. And if you use up those 5 hours, you simply go to the Center for Learning and say, hey, I've used up my 5 hours of Brainfuse, and I think they're willing to give you actually more hours, more access to hours. And so again, a great resource. What I want to talk about today, though, in particular, is the writing lab, since you're writing papers for this class and other classes. This is a resource. You can actually submit your paper online to have access to a live tutor that will actually look at your paper and sort of almost do a grading run-through of it. And so for our example, we're going to pick academic essay, and we'll see what happens when we do this. You'll notice you have 7 submissions left until basically end of May this semester. You get 7 submissions for each semester. And then you specify what kind of format you want, APA, MLA, but number 2 is the key one. What is it you want this tutor to look at in your paper? You've got introduction, organization, you've got tone, grammar, usage, and mechanics. Always click that box for your papers. You can click all these boxes if you want. Number 3, any instructions, where you're going to submit it from, your computer or the cloud, any additional comments such as help me please, quick, I need it. You don't need to add that. And then you can upload your document. And so it's a great resource. I actually wanted to try this resource out, and so I submitted a paper to see, hey, I want to be able to tell students what actually happens when you do this. They tell you it's about 24 hours, 1 business day is required before you get a response. And so if you're going to do it really late Friday night and expect it for Monday morning, you might be cutting it close because those don't count as those business days over the weekend. I submitted my paper on Wednesday at 12 noon. And Thursday morning at 7 a.m. in my email was, hey, your Brainfuse paper is ready. So I got back into Brainfuse, my paper was there. They send it back, and I had asked for organization, development, and formatting and style for the paper. They gave me specific feedback on my paper. I could tell somebody had read it because they were talking about specific things in my paper. They then sent the entire paper back with sort of highlighted things in the paper of where there are things that could be better, the mechanical errors, they had some dangling modifiers where it didn't cohere together as well. All the kinds of things your professors are going to point out in red ink, Brainfuse does in that nice light blue ink, so it's nice and friendly. Then you can make those changes and turn that paper in. So again, it's a resource that's available to you. Brainfuse is relatively new to the campus. And so if you use it in your classes, it just makes you a better writer. So what I've been suggesting for students to actually do 2 things. Rader.com. Anybody familiar with Rader.com? I've had a few students. This is not affiliated with GCC. It's just an online resource. You can submit up to 5 pages for free. And what they'll do, it gives a quick examination of that paper. They'll say in a couple minutes, literally, I did 5 pages of this paper. Literally 30 seconds later, that paper was shot back to me. And spelling, grammar stuff. It's not going to give you the content like you're going to get with Brainfuse. It's not a person, it's an algorithm. But it's going to tell you the kind of word choice you use. For example, if you mention I'm a college student, you tick that box. It's going to tell you whether your word usage matches what a college student should have. It's even going to offer what they think the grade you should expect to have on this paper is, like a B+ or a C- or an A- or whatnot. And so again, what I'm recommending to students to do if papers they have due, run your paper through Rader.com, get that 30 to 60 second response, make those changes that are quick. If you have the time, run your paper through Brainfuse, get a live tutor that can actually give a response to it, make those changes in your paper, and you've run your paper through 2 filters, and you're that much better as a writer in what the product you're turning into your professor. So again, it's available to you. I encourage people to use it. It's a great tool. I wish I would have had it when I was in grad school. I would have used it. The paper I thought that was really good. It gave me some really good feedback on that I would have taken and actually used. So with that, I want to mention just one more piece to end with. And this is the thing that is very new. It's an app for your phone called MyInfo. Anybody familiar with the MyInfo app? MyInfo? It's on the GCCAZ main web page. They're pushing this. This app is, you'll download your phone, put your student information in there. What it has is all your schedule, your classes. It links to any books you need for that class, links to a map. It lists all your grades, not only for this semester, but previous semesters. What did I get 2 semesters ago in English 102? You can go click on your phone and find that. If you're getting financial aid, it has all your financial aid information on that app. You can look at what's come to me, what can I expect, what's my standing, have I lost my standing for financial aid because maybe my grades went too low. All that stuff's on that application. You can make payments for your financial stuff on that phone as well. So it's one more tool. I realize all that stuff is available through any number of means, but the school is attempting to try to let's put all of it we can in the hand, and the little handheld device that we all use. So again, these are just some resources and tools we're using on campus. My role is to help you overcome any challenges you face, whether that's on the campus or just lifestyle stuff outside the campus that happens. If I can't solve that problem myself, I want to try to connect you to resources on this campus, whether it's the Counseling Center, whether it's the Center for Learning, online resources that'll help make your education journey that much more successful. And so again, if you need to get hold of me, my name is Richard Klaus. I didn't write it up, but you can ask a professor. He can get hold of me and give you my number and all that kinds of stuff. I'd love to connect with you. Are there any questions, anything I talked about? Yes?
For the Ask the Librarian, is that like a live chat? Or is that something you respond a couple minutes later?
No, I believe it's a live chat. You actually talk with them.
Are they available? Is there certain hours for that?
No, that's 24/7. So you can, at any time, day or night, you can talk to somebody.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Anything else? Oh, yes.
With comparing all the resources together, Brainfuse and the librarian and then the Center for Learning, basically students have an unlimited amount of tutoring.
Yes.
For their semester, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, because, and again, if you use up the stuff, the 5 hours on the Brainfuse, you can always request more. You can get more there. And the Center for Learning is always available, when they're open. So, yeah. There's one more?
You just answered my question.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. I appreciate your time, and thank you, Professor, for letting me come in and take your time for this class.